I'm glad you're here, because this is going to change your entire life and your entire perspective on love and how you see things. Your higher self is coming through and showing you a decision that you have to make right now. It's not exactly what you think. It's not terrible to view different perspectives when you feel confused. It's actually healthy. And we're not taught to understand this. Okay? If you feel confused, and you're attracted to someone that makes you feel confused, that's in and out and in, and it feels like intensity and intimacy. You may have heard a million videos about this. You may have watched multiple tarot readers about this, on this topic. They're gonna come back. They love you too. No, this is a real connection. But you have to decide for your future self what you're gonna do here. Because you already feel disrespected. And let's just take a moment to honor that. Okay? You clicked on this because you're confused if they love you back. And confusion is not care. Okay? It feels attraction, physical attraction, doesn't ultimately mean care. And you have a baby and oh my God, you take care of it with your life. Because you're physically attracted to someone, it doesn't mean that they have that level of care for you. There's nothing wrong with them, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's just physical attraction is showing you a mirror to yourself. It's showing you the piece of yourself that you get to decide the standards for. It's showing you that piece of yourself that feels worthless, that feels like you gotta keep doing things to make them clear how they feel. And it's not going to work. Not that the relationship will never work out with them. It's just in this moment, if you clicked on this video, the title of this video is if you're confused if they love you back. And that's the wrong question to be asking. But it takes a lot of willpower to ask the right question, which is, how is this making me feel? How does being confused if someone loves me or likes me back feel? That's the reality of it. It already feels like a spike in your nervous system. It already feels unsafe. You are already questioning outside of yourself, which is nothing wrong with this, because I've been there too, and I understand, and I still dip into that, and I understand. That's why I made this video. And from a different perspective, it's not funny. I'm just like, what feeling is this bringing up for you? And I just want to bring in a little bit more softness. We can bring in the goddess Kuan Yin to help with this, because it's not easy to see. And the question has to be focused on you. What do I feel? What are my standards relating to if they're confused if they love me? What would a person who loves themselves do? What would a person who absolutely, unequivocally loves themselves do if someone else is confused if they love you to the depth that you deserve and that you feel? What would someone who loves themselves do? And that answer to that question is going to be different for everyone. But it's somewhere along the lines of, I'm going to take a slow down pause. I'm going to just take maybe one moment at a time. Doesn't mean get rid of them. Your situations are all different. You're adults. You have to see it through. But listen to what your body is saying, because I'm telling you, if you start creating a narrative to fill in why they're being confused and giving them an explanation for their trauma because you care, because you're empathetic, because you're intelligent and you understand how people work and the psyche works and how you yourself works, valid. All of that is valid, and they're worth that compassion and love, but not at the expense of your self-worth or your standards. And you're going to come to feel this experience of, am I filling in the gaps of the confusion, of their confusion about you, with a fantasy, with my mind, with a monkey mind that just continues and creates stories to validate why they don't ask you to hang out, why they don't text you first or whatever. It's not about the first thing. It's just take an honest look. Why are you so anxious? It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. An intermittent reinforcement pattern is a real thing. That means someone makes you dependent on their random bursts of connection. That's a real thing, and there's compassion for that. Avoidant attachment, there's compassion for that. Anxious attachment, there's compassion for that. It's excruciatingly painful, right? Confusion is excruciatingly painful when there's like, wow, there's something real here, but like in and out and in. That's a sign. That is a sign. That is a flag. Okay, that's a yellow flag. Okay, there is a connection there, but you are experiencing confusion and it's creating anxiety, and that means slow down with your thoughts, with physical intimacy with them, with connection with them. Stop texting. You stop the external grab, because that's gonna end up, if you continue the external grab, you could watch this and be like, no, I'm gonna still do what I'm doing. That's okay. It could end up in you being really, really hurt though. Or you can just slow down right now and just take a moment to focus all this external energy on yourself. And it's up to you if you continue to watch videos about it. I understand. And I hope this can find you at the early part of this process to save you some pain. But the feeling that's excruciating is coming from a place where love should have been there for you as soon as you were born, throughout your entire life, with every single guardian and parent and mother and father and figure and friend and relationship that you have ever had. Love should have been the foundation of everything. And unfortunately, because we live in a dualistic reality, which means contradictions, which means we have to experience the negative to experience the positive, unfortunately, you had to experience the negative first to get to this moment right now, to where you start to become aware of how you're feeling and how you ended up in this situation. You could be insanely attracted to this person. You could feel like it's like soul mate. And I don't mean to like make fun of that at all. I know I said it like this, but I'm not making fun of it, because they are a soulmate in a way. But you have to see what you feel, because the love of your life is not going to spike your nervous system and make you confused, and it's not going to be like that. It's just not, because your worth, your sanity and safety, You're manifesting a situation that feels attractive to you at this moment because uncertainty was how you found your way to love your parents and your abusers and your guardians that should have had the idea and the physically showing you love in the first place. They should have been, all of the people that you were ever traumatized by as a child should have shown you the love that you innately deserve in the first place. But because they did not, and you do have trauma, we're not just blaming it on the trauma, we're getting deep in here, we're kneading this dough right now. We're not just blaming it on the trauma. We're saying, hey, whoa, I'm feeling this because this is how I used to relate to get love from my parents. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to perform. I'm in this anxious state. That's what you feel like love is. That's why you're attracted to that person, because you needed to see this in this moment right now. You can come back to this video, but it's what you're feeling. At this moment, confusion is a no. Because someone that loves you, if you unequivocally love yourself, you're not in a connection that feels confusing. You're in a connection with someone that's choosing you and wanting to build something with you. They want to flourish and frolic through life with you. You don't have to chase them around the daisy field and being like, yo, 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 let's do something. Okay? And there's no hard feelings for them. They could be going through something you have no idea. And it's just you contracted each other to show you that. And I'm just saying, in this moment, you have your own life, you have your own decisions. Every situation is completely different. Okay? But just in order to bring you into the present and not put expectations on the future or this person, which expectations always lead, like a fantasy expectation always leads to hurt in some way, at least in my experience, because you have to see what's in front of you in the moment that they are. And I'm just trying to help. I want to help alleviate some pain in relationships and these things. Doesn't mean stop talking to them altogether. It means slow down and watch and wait and focus on how you feel. And ask yourself, what would someone who loves themselves deeply do in this situation? Maybe you wouldn't reach out to them and see what happens. Maybe you would take a bath if you feel anxious. Maybe you would start developing deep emotional connections with your friends, getting into book clubs, getting into hobbies that make you feel alive, that make you feel seen. So you're not putting all your worth on romance, which is what our society has taught us, especially as women and men in their own way. Okay? It's not the definition of love. It's a form of love that we all have a lot of trauma around relationally. Okay? There's nothing wrong with you because you're feeling this. And they're not giving you the satisfaction of being chosen. There's nothing wrong with you. It's hard to accept that. I can feel you go, because you want them to choose you. And I understand that. And I get that. I've been through that a few different times, honestly. And it's about time that you feel yourself and look at yourself and say, what do I actually deserve to feel if I completely loved myself? And there's a journey to get there. So just remember to slow down and invite yourself to be present with those emotions, because they're very important and they are valid. I'm not going to tell you just love yourself. I'm not going to tell you to do that. I'm going to tell you to feel what's coming up when you feel confused, because it's excruciatingly painful. and all of the information that you need and all of the magic in the life that you're wanting, that you're thinking you need this other person to experience, is in this feeling of understanding and feeling this feeling right here. And it's not easy. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It sucks. Every time you cry because you're not being chosen, you're deepening and you're going into that feeling. What happened to me when I was younger? What is this feeling? You're getting closer to yourself, and you're inevitably attracting the standard that you want for your love and your future partner. Whether that's through that person and they do the work that they need to do to align with you in the new vibration, or it's a different person. But we don't have to focus on that. We just have to be present with how we feel in every moment, and then we realize the magic is actually there to understand how you feel, because it is valid. You don't need other people to validate your emotions. You can use other friends to help you in if you have any questions about processes that you need, I'll list them below, and I'll help you with some processes. I could recommend some. But you can have facilitators, but I'm just saying, you don't need this person to stop your anxiety, because that's not love. That's an attachment. There could be love there, but that portion of the relationship and the connection isn't love. So it's going to be burned away, and it's going to hurt if you are to access the realm of true love. I'll make another video about this. If you have any questions, please let me know, but I just want to help. And that's what I would want to know at the very beginning of a confusing situation, if I were to tell myself that or tell you that. So I love you, and that's why I'm doing this. And I hope you find that strength to feel yourself and see what your emotions are trying to tell you, because they are valid. So there's a reason you feel confused and anxious, and that's okay, because there's something to be seen. And then there's decisions that you make based on that to keep yourself seen and to keep yourself feeling safe. And that's how you create safety in connections, romantic and otherwise. Okay? I just really want you to know that, because it's life-changing when you get to experience that, and you're not just being pulled in every direction. You feel like you have no boundaries and you just can't make anything work. You can. You can. It's coming for you, because you fucking understand this. You clicked on this. This is the alchemization process. This is the awareness that you needed that's coming to you anyways, but it's just you're seeing it being validated through the words that I'm saying. We're all one people. We're all one thing. Okay? So I hope the way I said this helps you.